praying.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. We just got done watching WandaVision, episode 9, the finale, if you will. How do you feel, man?
I'm
You're
blapped.
blapped?
I had a few questions.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're just jumping right into it.
Let's do it. Let's just jump right in. We're here for the lore.
Yeah, here for the lore.
And he needs the lore immediately. These two visions were anime battling in the sky, and then they were in
Totally badass.
and then they were having a battle of wit in the library.
So funny.
Yeah, that was a really funny way to do it. It's like they're like these ultimate powerful beings just like fighting each other, and then all of a sudden it's like the real battle is just like, am I more intellectual? Now I was scared for a moment because I wonder if it was like sticking to his original, like, my mission is to kill the Vision, or to
Like, he'd kill himself.
yeah, I was like, is he about to like just go blow himself up or something? But I think like with his old memory and all that stuff, he's like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. And then he just kind of like dicked on out of there.
That's,
yeah,
we didn't
like
even
what?
see him dick off. I assumed he was gonna come back at some point. I was like,
Right? No, he just like bite.
I'm also not okay with him being white forever, but also he can totally change his appearance on a dime. So maybe,
Yeah, I mean
maybe
he created his cape.
Yeah,
the
so-
moment we
so-
saw is all of his clothing.
So he might just go back to. We might just have Vision back. Is that a thing?
Yeah, yeah. Vision is
Okay.
out there.
So why didn't he just go to Wanda? Maybe
Or-
he didn't know, like, if the Vision that was already there. He's like, maybe I should give them some space first, let them say goodbye or something.
Yeah.
And now maybe, I don't know. That's really strange. The other question is can't Wanda just remake the Hex in the middle of nowhere? Why did she do that initially?
Yeah, maybe with her reading the Darkhold and
She's
all that.
figuring out how to bring it back.
Right. I mean, she's already doing some crazy stuff. The fact that we're like, oh, there's Wanda, and we were like, no, there's Wanda, which was
That
creepy.
didn't make, yeah. There's the two
So-
versions of her there.
right. So maybe
Again.
she'll learn how to just create the Hex in the middle of nowhere and do that. And you heard like her children like
Yeah, there was
like
some,
screaming
yeah.
or whatever, like, mommy. I think teasing like we're gonna get the kids back because we have to,
getting them
because
back.
Young Avengers.
Family
blah,
is
blah, blah.
forever, as they said.
I have to say, I love how this finale, it was about the show overall. It was about Wanda. It was about Vision. It was about the family. Like, it was about the characters that we've already seen within the show. Yeah, I like that it wasn't like, oh, it means this, it means that. It's gonna, the X-Men universe, and we're gonna get this, and we're gonna get that, and Magneto's gonna be in it.
It was a finale.
It
That was a finale.
It was a finale for that show. They're
but
it implies tons of
more.
things for later
Right.
on. I mean, like with, considering that she has that magic and now she's learning how to use that magic, anything could happen moving forward.
Yeah, and
Anything could happen, but
Yeah.
I love how it was just like, this is about this show. This isn't about like the the bigger picture. Everyone wanted it to be like it's connecting everything already, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
It was beautiful ending for what it is.
Yeah.
LOL, Ralph Boner.
Boner, not Pietro.
And like what a tease too, that literally like his like room and like his everything was so X-Men Quicksilver. It's literally exactly like him having that little like dungeon, his like man cave situation.
But then when she took off the necklace that Agnes or Agatha put on him, he went back to who? He went back to Boner?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's Boner again.
He just went back to Boner. And he was playing Pietro.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I guess he was an actor given his
Yeah.
headshot. I don't think he was actually like, in on it like, oh, I'm gonna be playing, because like obviously it was some sort of spell, but
He was
like
very scared, yeah. I
know.
can't see how they're going to turn that into multiverse X-Men situation at
right,
this point.
exactly. Yeah, so it does make you wonder how they're gonna move forward with that. That being said, yesterday there was actually a huge scoop. They have come up with the title for this for an X-Men film coming. It's gonna be called The Mutants, which was originally what I believe Stan Lee wanted to call it. They wanted to call it The Mutants, and they were like, no, like comic book readers, no, they don't just read with The Mutants. What does that even mean, The Mutants? Like, you gotta give them a name or something. So I think they're trying to name it that. It's nothing. It wasn't like totally official, but it seemed pretty like it was one of those. Yeah, scoopers.
Scooper's
but,
gonna
like,
scoop.
But honestly, one of my big things was like, what was Hayward even doing? What did he want? Because
he just hates super people. He hates Wanda. He just is jealous of them. He's resentful because maybe a loved one was lost by the snap, and he just wants her dead. He just wants Wanda and probably all super people in jail or dead.
I guess
That's kind
so.
of my take on that.
Sure. Hayward felt a little flat for me at the end. Like it just sort of
Yeah,
like
he just
I
goes to
get it
jail.
was just like, yeah, he probably had some sort of trauma during the 5 years that all the shit happened, whatever. I'm glad he wasn't fucking Mephisto or anything like that. I wouldn't want it to be that crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it got very super magic-y at the end there, but I didn't want it to get any more magic-y than that. And Mephisto would have been a whole other like realm of
How
show.
are you gonna introduce all of that right there at the end? It's just I know there were like technically hints or whatever. I know they wanted everyone to.
I mean, they could have done
much.
like a Palpatine laugh at the end or something.
Right.
Like, they wouldn't have introduced the character.
They could have very easily like set him up to be like a villain for Doctor Strange 2 or something like that. Oh.
So where the hell is Agatha? Right now, where's she?
Yeah, because he was like,
They
"Oh, I'm
closed
trapping
down
you
the-
in this thing," but then like,
Then she ended it. So
maybe like the hex exists within like her head, perhaps. Maybe within like,
oh my god, so she's like trapped in her
like I don't know, it's
mind.
I don't know.
Or
like,
was she just like, oh, I'm free, and zoomed on off out of there and escaped?
I don't know. It's really confusing, to be honest with you. I don't know. Like, if
Close
she
down that hex.
even if she closed the hex, like, is she just like trapped in her own head, or is it like even like is she just like
she's the nosy neighbor, like in life?
Yeah, just in IRL.
IRL. Oh man.
Wonder if she got officially married to Ralph Boner.
Oh
Agnes
my
and Ralph
God.
Boner.
So we did actually meet Ralph, yeah.
We did. For everyone who had that on their bingo card, congratulations.
I bet you didn't have that last name on your bingo card.
I wonder how many people actually got bingo. Like, I feel like the guesses were so off, way off base. All of these like, Doctor Strange, Mephisto, this, that, Ultron, blah,
Luke
blah.
Skywalker like cameo.
Yeah, which like also was always blown way out of proportion, like from the beginning. Like it was like she never even said that. I think someone said it was like
Paul
that.
Bettany also said.
Well, he was saying there's someone who I really wanted to work with.
Just
or something
himself.
Like, right, exactly. And he joked about
And
that
he was
on the thing.
he
And
was
then
just
even
dicking
yesterday or the day before when they were asking him, but like, could you be playing us right now? He's like, he was playing around with them and everything, but there was no big huge reveal or anything like that.
Everything got really kept under. This was like, it seemed like everything in the show has been like leaked and spoiled, but like they were laughing the whole time. They're like, you guys don't know anything.
Because the thing is, like, there were some like early on scoops and stuff like that about Evan Peters being in the show and all this stuff, but there was also rumors
casting is a different thing.
There were a bunch of rumors about Aaron Taylor Johnson and about Magneto and all this different stuff, and it's like, all right, well, there are videos about all these guys, but only one of them ended up being true, you know? So here's the big boy question is, okay, what does it mean moving forward, right? Okay, we have Falcon the Winter Soldier, Loki, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, Eternals, and then Spoderman. So if all of that stuff is going to happen in that movie, it's like, how much shit is going to happen in that movie if we're getting everything? Like, everything is already supposed to be, like, happening by then. The other thing is, and part of the reason that Far From Home takes place, months after WandaVision anyway, because WandaVision happens in... from October to November, right after Endgame ends, like within the 3 weeks. But I already know there are people who are like, they didn't give us our X-Men. They played with us on Quicksilver. Like, shut up. I'm a little confused on what Monica's powers are exactly, just given, we've seen just a little bit of what
she's able to
she's
phase,
got there.
apparently, just like Vision.
True, it's very... Yeah, with the yellow light there, sort of Mind Stone-esque.
Right. That's, I guess,
right.
She got her
Vision
powers
stuff.
from Mind Stones, so from
True,
Wanda,
technically, yeah.
So she's gonna have some of that sweet Mind Stone goodness.
Yeah. Interesting that, like, with her eyes, she was able to see, like, the light of, or like the magic coming from the necklace.
Yeah. So, so she's going to have a little conference, if you will, with Sir Nick Fury. Is that
Yeah. So that, you had
I thought she was talking about Talos at first.
Me too. I was just like, oh my god, who could it be? And like I see a scroll, I'm like, okay, Talos. But Talos is, at least as far as we know that like within months later after that, Talos and his wife are down on Earth playing Fury. We know that months later, Fury's in space,
up there,
an old friend of your mother's. So that to me makes a lot of sense, and it also is sort of, I guess, bringing back the sword of what it used to be before Hayward made it this weapon as opposed to world thing. Hayward as a villain just ended up feeling flat
because it didn't,
Yeah. I guess everyone wanted that big bad because there was no true villain of the show.
Yeah. Well, because it was
like
partly
Agatha,
Wanda herself and then Agatha,
right,
of course.
which is cool. It breaks the mold. Like,
yeah.
I like that. Like, it just gets redundant and cheesy when it's like big villain.
I was just kind of more so like, what is he rebuilding Vision for? And then what is he doing to just, I was like, all right, now go in and kill her. Okay. And then after that, then what? So he's just building a super weapon to...
Then he'll prove that he saved all of these, victims. And
right. And be like, yeah, superhumans, no good. Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Played yourself, boy.
So why exactly did he get arrested? He was acting within his right.
I guess rebuilding Vision, was that
Was
bad?
that under the table? I mean, isn't he again allowed to operate within he's the director of the organization. To all these people who just got traumatized, they're probably like, how are you arresting this man who was trying to save our lives? Hayward's is a hero.
Savior to
is a
them,
savior to them.
And they're all like...
We're biased because we're like...
Heroes.
But like...
Right.
For them, Hayward was trying to save their lives.
Which is exactly why I'm kind of like, what is happening here,
Yeah.
And like, what, they're just going by Jimmy's word, like, yeah, he's bad. And now that they're, they basically just like redid the Darkhold. That's not a huge thing, but Miss Marvel in the comics is an Inhuman, which is different from mutants, different stuff. And in the MCU, Inhumans were introduced in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is one of their biggest plot points. I mean, that's season 2 forward.
So what's the difference between an Inhuman and a mutant?
Well, a mutant, it's like this, they're just sort of born a certain way or whatever, like mutated genes, literally. While Inhuman is like ancient Kree blood that's already like within them, but it has to be activated by a Terrigen crystal. In Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., there was a whole event where like discovered that there were Inhumans, whatever stuff, and they kept it whatever, but then like there was an accident and like Terrigen got everywhere and blah blah blah, so like it's somehow through the sea and in fish pills, whatever, so more Inhumans were coming out and about, and I feel like they're not gonna do that sort of origin story for her, like, oh, she like took a fish pill and suddenly she was Miss Marvel or something like that. Wanda reading the Darkhold at the end, it's like, okay, that's cool because that opens up possibilities and whatever, but that's also bad for Wanda. And like, yes, she could be learning and controlling these powers, but like in the end, the Darkhold is like literally just like, this is the dark magic book. This is like, and given what stuff that happened in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like nothing good came out of doing shit with the Darkhold.
But that also is the lore of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which...
Right, but that does come from the comics to like an extent.
Okay.
Like there's a reason you don't.
I mean, they even
skirt that
mentioned
book.
in this episode that she was like, this is dark magic.
Right, exactly. And the other thing is like, if that is said book that they had chilling there in the library from Doctor Strange, like a lot of those books were like, don't read this shit. And like when Silius, the villain from the first Doctor Strange film, when he like went and like stole some of that dark magic shit, and then they got into like, with their dark eyes and doing some weird shit or whatever, like they got into some dark magic stuff, which given that part of the plot line of that film was the Ancient One also used some dark magic, and like this whole thing of like, oh, you're a hypocrite, you're using this stuff too and it's wrong and whatever, but like that like is, there's a balance to these kind of things and whatever. But I think
the Sith powers if you can control it,
basically yeah. But it's also but I think her like chilling there flipping through the whole ass Darkhold is bad news bears.
As she brings the kids back, it might come at a cost, and that might bring about our Mephisto or our big bad.
Right. I think she could be part of the reason we have big boy problems later on with the second Doctor Strange film.
That makes sense.
Jimmy Woo. Everyone wants to see more Jimmy Woo. I'm sure we'll see him again.
You need
I
a
think
series,
people
Jimmy Woo series.
that's what everyone's saying. They want the Jimmy Woo series. They want their X-Files MCU.
It's so funny how loved he is.
Right.
Loved that.
I mean,
It
yeah,
makes
we're
sense.
going full circle Agents of Shield. It was this was exactly what happened with Agent Coulson. Exactly what happened. He was in all these like little parts. It's like, oh, we love this random agent guy, and then he dies, and they're like, no, we like random agent guy, and they're like, we give you show for random agent guy. I don't want to stick with it. We thought it'd be cool, but it's not. We don't want to really invest the time.
It was cool because he was random agent guy, not always agent guy.
Right, so I feel like if they do this Jimmy Woo show...
No, they're not going to do that.
No. Yeah, I mean, no, there are a lot of all these,
Really?
a lot of people, like...
That was a joke.
It was, like, mostly a joke, but, like, I think people are really trying to push the project forward. There's nothing been official about it, but I think there has been, like... People have been like having like meetings with Marvel of potentially doing it or something like that because
We could just have him in more things, but we don't have to give him
I
a
would
show.
really much prefer that, right?
Like he should be in Spider-Man, or something like that.
It'd be great.
He's
in
a great
I
Spider-Man.
mean, we already have
casting.
this Spider-Man film was already going to be so exhausting.
Yeah, but that's why we need more regular folk like
More Woo.
like your neighborhood Jimmy Woo.
Neighborhood Jimmy Woo. The Council of Woos. This is a multiverse of Jimmy Woo, and they're all exactly the same. Jimmy Woo is the real Nexus being. He's the one who is the same across all universes.
It's just a guy. He's just a guy.
The flourish. I was
Flourish.
like, wow, referencing the show within the show. Meta boy.
I'm an illusion! Flourish!
Flourish. I feel like that last battle thing, like the Wanda versus Agatha thing, wasn't very satisfying because like it had only happened like the episode before where she was like, yeah, you can't use your magic here. It's like, oh, it didn't feel like this thing that was introduced earlier on. They had only introduced the concept of runes like an episode before, so it didn't feel like oh man, that was so smart of her. And like I don't know, the whole final fight just didn't feel extremely satisfying in that way that like
Wanda really just activated her trap card.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it.
You activated my trap.
And like that was it,
Runes.
and that was the end of the duel.
Yeah.
I did like the part where like Agatha's on the roof and all of a sudden Wanda's behind her and does like the speed up and control her thing. I was like bringing that exact effect right from Age of Ultron.
Creepy.
I was like bringing it right
creepy.
back. I love when they do that kind of thing,
Boopy.
I really thought we were gonna end this series. I just had a bad feeling that there was just gonna be no more Vision, no more Paul Bettany. I just had a feeling it might be over for him. And I mean, he's been around since 2008.
It's never over.
He like that's someone who I
He's
could
an
say
OG.
being like, like I've had my time. It's good. It's whatever. But like, man, I like this show just made me want more.
That's the thing, is we really learned this character. And
Right, this is the first time we really give a
sweet
shit,
he is,
honestly.
and,
It's like, it's always been nice to have Jarvis, and then there was Vision. It was like, oh, cool. Like, okay, we're doing something with the character. And then they kind of didn't really do too much with the character. And now they did so much, and it's like, yes, good now. Please keep him. Well, thank you for watching. Tell us what you thought about WandaVision, about the finale in the comments below, and what you're excited about for the future of the MCU.
And we'll see you next time on the next episode of
For the Lore.
All
So
that
much.
glitters is gold. Only shooting stars break the mold. I feel like this show really broke the mold.